So Danny Rule said there is an injury issue to one of the players. Also, he speaks about how pleased he was with that result in general. Hello and welcome to this video. If you could like, share and subscribe to the channel, I much appreciate it. Liking out the algorithm, sharing gets in front of people's faces, and subscribing lets me know you like the channel. Hit that notification bell to let you know when videos go live. So Sheffield Wednesday got a really good, much needed 3 point. We haven't won in such a long time, so it was really good to get all 3 points in the bag and start just pushing on a little bit. Puts us on 48 points. We could, you never know, you're going to run, you get somewhere, but I'm not going to say that. I think it's better just take each game as it comes and see what happens. And it's a big week for going into the derby next Sunday with Norwich coming up on Tuesday. And Danny said he thinks the first 6 to 5 minutes, maybe even, 5 to 6 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, they had a lot more of those chances. We could have conceded a goal, but we played well. They had a structure, and it wasn't easy to create opportunities. And we had to do well at breaking them down. There were times where we would sit and have the ball for a little bit, play it back, look for that base. The thing is, whatever I seem to see happen with Wednesday recently, is teams figure out that we are a team that like to play with a lot of base. So if you shut the base down, you are able to much easily get the ball back and try and counter yourself. And it's one of those things, we were better with the second ball, the 50-50 duels, long balls in behind. We were really good. And when we went to back 4, back 5, we were able to keep that clean sheet as well, which was also mightily important because we haven't done that in such a long time. So to get that, it was good. But he also turned around and said we could have scored at least 4 or 5 goals today. We had some good chances. They only had 2 shots all game. So we did well in that sense to try and keep them at bay, which is really positive when you're looking into the next game we've got to go into versus Norwich. I think Norwich only got a draw midweek, so it'll be interesting. On Friday, so it'll be interesting. But yeah. But then came some of the bad news. So Stuart Armstrong, we knew had a knock on his calf. We knew there was an issue there, and it sounded like he was all back to normal, ready to go in training. And then it looked like he had to pull out of training, and it looked like he's going to be out for at least a month, which is not good at all. And it's not what you need. Danny went on to say that when you look at his history, you see he did not have a preseason with us. In game minutes, we tried to manage him, but yesterday was another setback. It's a pity. We're hoping to have him here with us today, but it maybe could be 3 or 4 weeks out, which is not what you want to hear, because he was really good at coming in at that midfield. That just gave us a little bit of a break for the likes of Barry Bannon or with Shea Charles on that ever so slight tightrope he's on. If he can get through the 90-minute versus Norwich without a card, then fantastic. It'll be great to see. Personally, I wouldn't mind actually seeing him maybe rested for that game, but we'll see. Jan Valery is a little bit better. It looks like he could be back after the international break. Akin is looking good, and they need to get him put in some under 21 games as well. If they can get him into under 21 games, get his minutes up, which is good. It's good to see them starting to come back into contention for us, because Iorfa came through good in this game as well. Played as right back, which I think is his better position than centre back. Then the manager for Plymouth turned around and said, did you feel like the Plymouth fans turned the back on him when things were not going right and started to go? And he said he can't blame them for that. He kind of did the rallying call that we need you all to be behind us, and one for all and all for one, all that kind of thing, to make sure we can get out of the situation we're in and see what we can do there. But it's great to get 3 points after not having a win in ages. Now we've got to go to Norwich on Tuesday night and try and get all 3 points there. We are very close to hitting that 50-point mark. I think Norwich need a point and they hit 50. Wednesday need all 3 and they hit 50. And we'll want to go into the international break in a good place, especially with the derby game being the last game before that break and seeing what we can do. So it's a big week this week. We already know this with the being a Steel City derby on the Sunday, but we need to make sure we're in the right position at the right time to get the points. If we can get the points and maybe you go on a little run, you might be able to do something. But a lot of games coming that are going to be very close to each other. I always remember the Easter period is always really busy with how many games there are back to back. So we have to be on our toes and make sure we're in a good position. If we can get in a good position and pick up some more wins, then fantastic. And we'll move on and we'll go from there. But at the end of the day, we're just going to see what happens. At the end of the day, football is football. Anything can happen. And you see what happens and where we place ourselves in the league. We're in 13th on 48 points. It's a massive growth from last season. Got to keep pushing and see what happens next.